So far we have spent no effort on pretty printing our entries or the authors. So if we were to use PUTs on Bilbo as just one example, what we get back is in fact that it is of class author and some inscrutable number, which is the object identifier, and that is not very useful. Similarly, for any one of the entries, let's say E1, we just get back that it's an entry and what its object identifier is. But what we really want to see when we use PUTs here is a more meaningful output. And that's what we'll be working on next. So our new task at hand is to print authors and their entries in a nicer format. Let's look at an example. We create a new entry here, and it is by the author Bilbo. The headline is There and Back Again, and the body text is A Hobbit Lived. Now we want to see the following output if we call puts s. We want to see Bilbo Baggins's entry, this 8/30/2012 at 9:08 a.m., There and Back Again, and we want to see opening and closing quotes around this headline, followed simply by the text that makes up the body. And the approach we take is to use the toS method, which returns for any object a string representation of the object. So what we effectively do, we override the toS method we have obtained from the object class, which is one of the base classes of every class. We learn more about inheritance a little further down the road, but effectively we override the toS method, which converts any instance of a class into a string representation. On the left-hand side, you see how we accomplish this for the author class. We override the toS method, and all we accomplish here is to use the toS method of the name attribute. So the string representation of an instance of the author class is the string representation of its name attribute. For the entry class, we have a little more work to do. We start by constructing a string from the string representation of the author attribute. Then we continue the expression, the string concatenation expression on the next line, and by putting a backslash at the end of the line, we indicate to Ruby that we really want to continue this expression rather than starting a new one on the next line. And so we add or concatenate this string here. So let's say the author is Bilbo Baggins, then the output here of the in the string form would be Bilbo Baggins's entry this, and again we continue on the next line. And now we have to do something with the date. We have to extract the date part. The date also has a time portion, but first we extract the date. And to that end we use a method called string format time, which uses a format string here to extract the information we need from the date object. And I encourage you to look up what time string format time does. It's very well described in the standard library documentation. We continue with add and then give the time portion of the date object we have in hand, followed by a new line, and then followed by the heading in this case, single quotes. And this then is followed by the actual body of the entry. In the IRB, I have made the changes to the author class. So I have reopened the author class and have added the toS method as we saw just now. And I've also reopened the entry class and have added its toS method following the scheme we defined a few moments ago. Let's see if it works. If I now use puts on Bilbo, I get a much more informative output here. It actually prints the name. And if I perform puts on E1, in fact, I get back Bilbo Baggins's entry, this 19th of September 2012 at 8:40 p.m., followed by the headline in single quotes, followed by the body text.